The war of words continues between U.S. and North Korea. In a statement, North Korean Foreign Minister Ri Yong-ho has said that the U.S. President Donald Trump's comments at the United Nations has lit the wick of war against the Korean country. Yong added that North Korea will settle the final score, but only with a hail of fire and not with words. Meanwhile, U.S. President has clarified that when it comes to the issue of North Korea, his attitude is ultimately the one that matters. His statement comes amid different viewpoints of Trump and Rex Tillerson, the Secretary of State, on how to handle North Korea. Trump admitted that him and Rex Tillerson don't necessarily see eye to eye on the issue. Donald Trump is also expected to make an announcement today on the Iran nuclear strategy. Though he will not have the power to cancel the deal unilaterally, but he can choose the option to decline certification of the deal. Trump has time and again criticized his predecessor Barack Obama for the 2015 nuclear agreement with Iran. U.S. President Donald Trump will nominate Kirstjen Nielsen to serve as his next Secretary of Homeland Security. She is currently White House Principal Deputy Chief of Staff. The post of Homeland Security is responsible for U.S. border and airport security, immigration, policy, and refugee admissions. The death toll in California's worst ever wildfire has increased to 21, and it has destroyed 3,500 homes, all in the region. More than 550 people are still missing in the Sonoma County town, which is the worst hit. 73 helicopters, 30 air tankers, and nearly 8,000 firefighters were currently taking part in the effort to extinguish the blazes, and officials claim that the recovery will cost tens of billions of dollars. As state of emergency has been declared in California, U.S. Vice President Mike Pence assured residents of full federal support and recovery efforts in the region. Former Portuguese Prime Minister José Sócrates has been indicted on graft charges. Sócrates was charged for corruption and money laundering charges in the country's biggest graft investigation. He has been accused of receiving millions of euros in a scheme regarding the country's main telecom operator. The construction company responsible for building Russia-Crimea Bridge released footage featuring highway arc being prepared and transported for further installation between bridge pillars in Kerch Strait. The bridge is now half completed and is scheduled to be open for public by December 2018. Earlier in August, similarly arc for the railway part of the bridge was installed in Kerch Strait. Media in the United Kingdom claims that U.S. President Donald Trump will visit Britain in early 2018. Both the offices of Donald Trump and UK Prime Minister Theresa May has not yet made any official announcements. Britain Prime Minister Theresa May had invited President Trump for a state visit during her trip to Washington in January. But the plan has proved controversial in Britain, with mass protests expected to greet the U.S. leader. French President Emmanuel Macron has said that the country is not in a hurry to reach a free trade deal with South American bloc Mercosur, While speaking at a gathering of farmers and food producers in Paris, Macron said he would raise all the concerns at a meeting with other European leaders next week. The next negotiating round between Europe and Mercosur is planned for November. Earlier, French government had announced a proposed law to increase the farmers' pay. Thousands of Syrians have taken shelter in the makeshift camps as the fight against Islamic State in Deir el-Zor intensifies. The Syrian army and its allies reached the city of Deir el-Zor in September after a months-long offensive across the Syrian desert. Islamic State is still capable to launch a series of effective counterattacks against the Syrian army in regions over the past week, putting pressure on the main supply road to Deir el-Zor from the west. Turkey continues to build its military presence on the western part of the Syrian border. Trucks carrying armored combat vehicles have arrived at the border to cross into Syria. Turkish defense minister has said military will be present in the Syria's Idlib province until threat from there towards Turkey is over. "75 migrants were rescued by the Libyan Coast Guard off the coast of Tripoli. The boat, which was carrying the migrants mainly from African countries, encountered a problem which prompted the Libyan Coast Guard to rescue them. The boat was carrying 52 men, 19 women, and 4 children. U.S. President Donald Trump pitched for a tax plan at Pennsylvania rally and called on the members of Congress to get the tax plan issued. The Republicans are desperate to push through tax reform, seeing it as their last good chance to get a major legislative victory during the Trump administration. Trump and top Republican lawmakers have unveiled a plan to slash taxes for businesses and individuals, the first comprehensive overhaul of the U.S. tax code since 1986. Peruvian researchers have revealed the 3D digital reconstruction of the face of an ancient noblewoman from the Caral civilization. The woman's mummified remains were discovered in northern Peru in 2016 near the city of Caral. Alongside the mummified remains, archaeologists also found artifacts such as jewelry, shells, and other offerings in the tomb. A small asteroid of 50 to 100 feet in size will pass close to the Earth today with no risk of impact with the planet. NASA scientists have said that the asteroid's distance from Earth will be a little over 1/10 of the distance to the Moon. And now let's take a look at some news from India. The Allahabad High Court is expected to deliver its verdict today on an appeal filed by Rajesh and Nupur Talwar challenging a CBI court order convicting them for the murder of their daughter Arushi Talwar and domestic help Hemraj in 2008. The couple were awarded life sentence by a special CBI court in Ghaziabad on November 26, 2013. Nupur and Rajesh Talwar are presently serving their sentence in Ghaziabad's Dasna jail. Acknowledging the slowdown in Indian economy, the recently constituted Prime Minister Economic Advisory Council has identified 10 priority areas for accelerating economic growth and employment over the next 6 months. With greater last-mile connectivity, the 10 themes identified include economic growth, employment and job creation, informal sector and integration, fiscal framework, monetary policy, and public expenditure. The Supreme Court's bold reform to place collegium decisions in public domain has sparked off a debate on transparency and judicial independence. In the very first set of resolutions uploaded on its website, the collegium reveals how it rejected names of 2 serving judicial officers recommended for elevation to the Madras High Court on account of adverse reports from the Intelligence Bureau. Several serving judges of higher judiciary remain cagey over the impact of the landmark move by the Supreme Court Collegium to open up and place its decision before the public. In a major Diwali bonanza for over 7 lakh university and college teachers, the government on Wednesday announced that they will be getting the benefits of the 7th Pay Commission. Union HRD Minister Prakash Javadekar said that teachers of all centrally funded deemed universities and 43 central universities will get the benefit of the 7th Pay Commission. In a major embarrassment for Jammu and Kashmir government, a picture of jailed separatist leader Asiya Andrabi has appeared along with Chief Minister Mehbooba Mufti in a poster on Save Daughter, Teach Daughter campaign. The poster, aimed at highlighting the women achievers of the country, was hoisted at a function held to promote girl education in southern Kashmir. Andrabi, the pro-Pakistan chief of Dukhtaran-e-Millat organization, also shares space with Mother Teresa, former Prime Minister Indira Gandhi, legendary singer Lata Mangeshkar, tennis star Sania Mirza, and Puducherry Lieutenant Governor Kiran Bedi, among others, in the poster. Deposed AIA-DMK leader V.K. Sasikala's 5-day parole for visiting her husband in a hospital ended on Wednesday. She will now return to Parapanna Agrahara Central Jail in Bengaluru. Today, she visited her husband in Natarajan, who underwent liver and kidney transplantation at a hospital in Chennai on all 5 days of her parole period. According to the hospital, Sasikala's husband is recovering well. The Tamil Nadu State Cabinet decided on Wednesday to hike up the price of liquor in the state. Tipplers will now have to shell out rupees 12 more for hard liquor, bottles of 180 milliliters, and rupees 10 for a bottle of beer. The government had last increased the prices of liquor in November 2014. Ordinary liquor bottles, which now cost rupees 88, will cost up to rupees 100. Premium liquor bottles, which cost between rupees 120 and rupees 380, will also see an increase in price by 10 rupees. Uttar Pradesh Congress Chief Raj Babbar has said that the GST would be reviewed once Party Vice President Rahul Gandhi becomes the Prime Minister and that it would not exceed 18%. He added that the interests of small businesses, the youth and farmers will be safeguarded. Congress also promised to expose the misdeeds of the BJP-led government at the centre once Rahul Gandhi becomes the Prime Minister. The Gujarat government has withdrawn a case against Patel Quota star leader Hardik Patel, in which he was accused of insulting the tricolour nearly 2 years ago. Rajkot collector Vikrant Pandey has said that he has passed the order to withdraw the case against Hardik Patel following instructions received from the state government.